college game. Sasho Sarovsky is 400 career wins, seeking a third national title in charge. Here are the storylines. Akron, fourth unseeded. Maryland, 2 goals off set pieces. They had 3 all season. Game on here in Santa Barbara, California. Maryland in white and Akron in the blue and gold. Your referee is Chris Penso. Beautiful 62 degrees here in Santa Barbara, California, where they claim the sun shines 300+ days a year. Marcel Zajac pushing things forward here early. And I guess the obvious question, Kate, how important is the first goal here today, especially from the case of Akron against such a resolute defending team in Maryland?
Well, Maryland, when scoring first, even including the regular season, has a 10-0 record. Maryland starts very strong the first 15 minutes, aggressive with their press all over the field. It'll be fun to watch whether Akron can break down that pressure.
Marcel Zajac knocks it inside. By the way, he's scored in 6 straight games for Akron, so there's a goal scorer who's on fire. It's Zajac. Switch of play here. Rattaccio will knock it forward for Akron. Let's go to your keys to the game, starting with Akron.
Well, Akron, they're going to maintain that high tempo possession. Recall that Maryland had a tougher game on Friday night. Let's use that accumulated fatigue that they're anticipating Terrapins having against them, and also use that whip to unlock Egbo. They like to play it wide, especially Zajac, and then Egbo sits in that seam between the back line and the midfield, and then they try to find him on that angled pass to then set play.
And for Maryland?
Well, Maryland, they're very aggressive with their press, and they need to continue that incredibly stout defense. That back four, especially Pines leading it, was impenetrable on Friday night and all tournament long, including DeRosa and Gasper on the other side. And can they shield and intercept those passes that split the midfield intended for Egbo? If they do that, they're going to stymie a major, crucial piece of their attack.
There's Zajac going down there. And by the way, they played at will into the feet of their striker David Egbo against Michigan State. A lot of success with that. Ball knocked forward here. Elney's touch, not the best. Akron here trying to make a real push here. Good run, it comes out wide. Zajac now. Try to play it into the near post. That was cut out by none other than Donovan Pines. He's been outstanding as a center back for Maryland. Well, Akron right now trying to drive into the box here and push his way through with Sky Harder. And goes out for the goal kick. Let's go down to the coach of Michigan State, Damon Rensing. They played against Akron on Friday night. Damon, thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it. By the way, congratulations off the top here to an outstanding season for Michigan State. How about a thought on this final and the matchups between these two teams?
Yeah, it'll be I think the lower the scoring in the game certainly favors Maryland. If it's a 3-2, 4-3 type game, that's gonna favor Akron. Maryland's very good at pressuring and keeping very tight lines. So if they can do that, and then they're going to have to retain some possession. I don't think we did a good enough job retaining possession against Akron when they won the ball.
Coach Egbo was so key against your team on Friday night. How do you get him to have not as much influence in the game?
Well, I think Pines, with Arwatungu was hurt a little bit. We didn't pressure him enough and caught off some passing lanes. But Pines has been playing really well. He'll match up with him. And the midfielders in that block of 8 that Maryland's kind of playing will really cut off those lines.
Coach, just how about a general comment here before we let you go, just about the success of the Big Ten getting 3 teams here?
Well, I think it's a tribute not just to these 3 teams, but to the conference and to all the coaches in the conference. You play in that Big Ten, it's difficult to win any game there, and it really prepares you for the postseason and the NCAA tournament.
Coach, thank you very much. Again, congratulations on a great season with Michigan State. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Damon Rensing. By the way, his father, Gary Rensing, played in the North American Soccer League for 10 years. That's great access with Damon Rensing. And, of course, we do know that a night like tonight, a lot of really talented college coaches around the country who run tremendous programs, mentoring student athletes, and then putting good soccer teams on the field are tuning in. Still a big part of the soccer landscape in the United States. It's the college game. Here's Donovan Pines now. Stuck direct. It's going to go all the way back to Ben Lunt from Berlin, Germany. 6'6". 7 shutouts for Lunt on the season. A little bit of a higher look here now coming from Maryland. So they're mixing up, it looks like, Kate, there are areas where they decide to apply the pressure.
And it's all based on cues. Body positioning was something they talked about on Friday when they decided to press. I was wondering if it was more like the Liverpool style, where the counter press, when it goes out wide, that's when you shift in.
Here comes Akron now. It's Zajac. He's got a good run in front of him. Zajac cutting inside now. It's a diagonal run from Egbo. They almost picked him out. So they break the pressure beautifully and nearly carve out a wonderful chance here.
And it's really about the timing of his runs that are so critical. And then he has the technical skill set to then capitalize on those opportunities. But he always sets up the defenders. Watch his counter movement in the box, getting on the back shoulder of defenders and then charging right in front of them at the last second to be the first one to the ball.
He's a tremendous story, David Egbo. Comes from Nigeria, went to a small private school as a 9th grader in Pittsburgh. He's been tracked by Akron for a number of years. So they were well aware of him when he was a young man. One top back, second ball here. Maryland now keeping it in and around the box here. Shot over the top. But that's a little bit of how Maryland can create those chances in the end. The hit will rise high from Sadik.
Well, this low block pressuring from Akron is allowing Maryland opportunities to build the ball, and Sadik just gets underneath that. Look how many defenders from the Zips are trying to close him down. He's trying to thread that needle, split the defenders with that shot, but just gets underneath it too much.
Mar Sadik, such a vital part of the Maryland attack. Taking the most shots on the team throughout the year, and has had 2 game winners along with 6 goals. Akron now. Egbo coming deep into midfield, and he does like to come back and be a part of the buildup as well.
But if you're Maryland, you're happy that Egbo is coming all the way back in the midfield. You just need to keep an eye out for Hackworth, who's going to look to get in that spot that he's left.
Oh, what a wonderful switch of play there from Sky Harder. Ball will get crossed to the back post, doing the safe thing there, and sweeping it out for a corner is Maryland. But a big switch of play there led to turning the defense across the field.
And just look at the pace. It's bending away. Dane St. Clair not going to come out for that because the bend is going away from him. And well done by DeRosa, who I have been extremely impressed by this past weekend, whether it's his lockdown 1v1 defending, last-ditch tackling, and that just a heads-up play, knowing that he had someone behind him, and that was a safer play to allow his team to get organized.
Corner towards the 6-yard box, and towering above everybody, and I mean above everybody, is Donovan Pines. It's a great matchup tonight with Pines and David Egbo, who will be in and around each other at certain times in this game. Akron in possession here, showing their game off. And that remarkable 30-plus pass sequence to score goal number 3 and knock the 3-time defending champion Stanford out in the quarterfinals. There's some numbers on the Akron offense. Over 2 goals a game. Good look at Dane Sinclair in goal for Maryland, to 0.78 goals against average. According to Sasha Sorovsky, future Canadian international goalkeeper at the senior level.
Just watching his maturation from last year to this one, you can see he's become more seasoned, more authoritative in that box, a much louder communicator than we heard last year. And I would say his distribution has improved. The left-footed primarily, but very comfortable with both feet. He is key to anchoring that back line, giving that confidence that if something gets past them, he's usually in an excellent position to pick it up.
Maryland picks up the second ball, and they'll try one from longer range. It's going to be handled there by Ben Lunt. Good look there at that matchup we talked about, David Egbo and Donovan Pines. Cornali. So Maryland going a little bit direct, and that goes into the thought process we heard from Sasha Surofsky, who said, you know, at times we became a team that was a little bit overvaluing possession, and that we had to add a direct sort of play into the team's game.
Well, what's interesting about Maryland is if you ask them what their identity is, I think the identity they'll say is whatever will win. They'll be a counter-attacking team if they need be, but first they need to solidify that defense. They originally started this season with only one defensive center mid, but they were being exposed all over the park. And also, that forced Sejdic to come back and help to build out. So they decided to shore up the back a little bit, put two defensive center mids, push Sejdic higher, and since then, their season took a different look. And that's when the second part of their season, the part that they're most proud of, took over, where they started winning some games.
Lots of shutouts for Dane Sinclair. It'll take a lot to shut out Akron here tonight, but they did it to Indiana. Getting brought down in a heap there is Abdi Mohammed, who loves to get forward on that right side for the Zips. So a yellow card has been issued, I believe, to Chase Gasper. And he will have to play the game differently now.
Just have to be careful in all his other challenges. This one going to ground, gets it late. It's a right call by the referee. Setting the tone early. Showing that card shows that he's not going to tolerate anything soft, that's not soft, anything that is a little extra violent, making sure that it keeps the tone in check for the entire game.
So set pieces here with Donovan Pines in here. You have to think about where Akron wants to hit their delivery. He won a ton of headers against Indiana. Ball's curled in towards the 6. Defended by Maryland and out for the goal kick here. Clock will count down in the college game. Unlimited substitution. If you're subbed out in the first half, you cannot re-enter. In the second half, you can re-enter once. Saturday, noon Eastern on ESPN. This one's a Sonic blockbuster and a Final Four rematch from last year. Number 21 Villanova taking on number 2 Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. The Fog. You can always catch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. Maryland in possession here. Here is the center back, Donovan Pines. His father, a dean of Maryland's School of Engineering. Used to taking on the top strikers. Marked out of the game J.J. Williams of Kentucky in one of their NCAA tournament games. Taken off as Ben DeRosa. They pick him out beautifully. DeRosa now. Had an outstanding game against Indiana. Had a couple of very key tackles and blocks. At moments you thought that Indiana was going to produce a goal. Maybe reaching into his powers of recovery. Lots of chance here for Maryland. Taccio with a very big tackle will shield it out. But again, the man getting in a good position. And this is good for Maryland. Amar Sejdic.
And it's a nice little build-up play by Maryland. And it bounces through to Sejdic, who just loses his footing. That's not a foul. He's trying to cut it, and his own momentum takes himself out. Watch this, you can see it. He just trips on the ball there. That's the third time we've seen Sejdic have an influence on the attack. He's finding that ball in the pockets. There's a lot of space in that midfield right now against Akron, and they're finding Sejdic, which is a good sign if you're Maryland.
Big towering header there from Gaspar. This is going to get nodded back to Lunt. Tips his shoulder and hits sort of a side volley towards Sejdic. He's always a good guy to be trying to play the ball to. Now a higher press here coming from Akron, trying to win it back. Bastianelli is at the tip of the spear for Maryland. 3 goals, 2 assists. He had the game winner at Kentucky in that 1-0 NCAA tournament win. We'll talk about big goals. It was in the quarterfinals that brought Maryland here, and now they're back in the national championship match for the first time since 2013. First round bye, and then knocked off a couple teams from the ACC. A bunch of very good, well-drilled college teams that they had to eliminate to get here. There's Andrew Samuels now, and you see him coming deep to collect the ball. Samuels and Crognali were part of the transition tactically to play as kind of twin holding midfielders and balancers under Sasha Surofsky, who has not done that very often. It's usually one player, but he said that was a real key to changing the season around.
And it made them much more of a counter-attacking team, or direct on that first ball and then set play and try to play that possession-based style of soccer in the opponent's half. That's how they're bypassing pressure, and you're seeing that so far with that low press from the Zips. They're hitting that long ball in over the top. You see Ben a couple times trying to get on the end of it, and then they're pressing Akron in their own field. And I think Akron decided to come out low pressure because they wanted to create some gaps, get an expanded shape from Maryland's attacking style, and then try to hit them in the seams and the gaps.
Bad back pass there. It's one back by Maryland. And throw in here for Akron now. Big switch of play here now. Mohammed trying to join in. No early goals here in the first 15 minutes. Mohammed off the throw. This is Milanese, who has been a part of Napoli's youth system in Italy. And all the way back to Ben Lunt in goal. Game so far devoid of real chances. Here's how Akron got here. It was a more difficult game than that 3-1 indicates, Kate, against Ryder.
Yeah, I really can't believe they weren't seeded. That means they had to travel quite a bit, not only play an extra game, but to win at Wake Forest. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do. Another team that plays the brand of soccer that they play, which we haven't seen that much of in this game thus far, is that a possession, quick interchange, and clever movement.
Zajac now running out of defender here. They got to switch quickly. Here's Akron now driving into the box. Zajac's shot, oh, was at the near post, sticking his leg out there. As he was going to his left was Dane St. Clair. It'll be a corner for Akron, but finding Zajac a good thing.
Look at that change of point ball. It's been working on the other side, and this time it unlocked. Zajac had enough time and space to build up and set up DeRosa, but watch Dane St. Clair. He's anticipating it's going far post. Almost got caught, but due to quick reflexes, he's able to get a foot on it.
Akron off the corner now. They got movement towards the near post. It'll come central over the head of Donovan Pines. It was spilled and cleared. Mohammed. 6 is Sky Harder. And continuing to press after maybe the game's best chance here from Zajac. Abdi Mohammed wins it. He's a transfer from Ohio State. Nesse. Akron likes to call their play a death by 1,000 passes. But despite the moniker, if they have a good night of possession and move Maryland around, how do you think that affects Maryland based on the fact that they had to put a lot of energy into that game against Indiana?
A lot of defensive energy in which they were chasing Indiana in very similar fashion. Indiana having the majority of the ball, but they did nullify the flanks. And that's something right now that Akron is having success on, and where they're getting all their opportunities is that big change of point ball, over-condensed on one side, and then punishing for it by hitting Mohammed, in particular in that last chance with Zajac.
Donovan Pines tries to clip it forward. DC United Academy, a lot of thought about him getting to that next level. This is nice here from Akron. Zajac is orchestrating this. It's another pass here. It's Egbo now. Egbo towards the end line, still on the ball. Got nudged at the last minute there. It altered him trying to get it across. And it goes out for the goal kick.
And the movement on and off the ball has pulled the Terrapins all out of shape. Very rarely do we see this on Friday night, but it's the 1v1 defending. When the collective defending in shape breaks down, their 1v1 defending is excellent on every single defender from the Terrapins. Just doing enough to force Egbo into doing an error.
That was Johannes Bergman, number 5, the center back who had to come out of the middle there. Has played for the under-18 and under-20 German national team. So, a couple of players out here from Germany. There's Samuels, one of the unsung heroes of Maryland on the ball now. So important to the build-up and collecting the ball off their back four. Pines, Samuels now picks his head up. Ben DeRosa, who's Ben DeRosa's brother, got that ever important first goal and eventually the game winner. Maryland has broken in here now. This is a wonderful opportunity to take the lead. Shot is blocked. Headed forward, and Lunt is going to get up there. But boy, they carved out a big piece of space. Irving was trying to get on the end of it.
And Paul Ben driving in, does the unselfish thing and the right decision to cut that back in, realizing he didn't have an angle, but a little bit too much weight on it for Hervé to deal with. An extremely technical player that can handle lots of different types of service with any part of his body. That one was just a little bit too much mustard on it for him to get something quality.
Cornali now towards Elney. Elney's going to go back to Ben Lunt. Let's go back to Paul Ben and how important he was in defending a very talented left back and attacker from Indiana, Andrew Gutman.
Andrew Gutman, arguably the best player in college soccer, has had the biggest influence on the attacking side of every single game for Indiana than any other player in the Big Ten, if not in the nation. And they set up a game plan to nullify him. And a lot of that fell to Ben to try to get in spaces that Gutman wanted to be in, preventing service into him, and he did an excellent job.
Maryland stepping up here. They've won it back. Nice switch of play from Cornali. Time to get it cross and some delivery, and that's headed away. Cornali now is trying to win the second ball. He got nudged off. It's going to be a free kick here. Egbo is going to get called for the foul. This is in a very favorable position here for the Maryland Terrapins.
And Cornali's jumping up for an Egbo. Has no chance to win it, just undisciplined. That's one thing they talked about Egbo, is they wanted him to control his emotions. That's the last part of his maturation that they feel he needs there. His emotions got the best of him, not realizing it's A, not the best space to do a foul, but B, it's unnecessary. He will not have a chance to win it. It's too obvious for the referee.
Well,
Easy call to make.
What set pieces meant in the semifinals against Indiana to Maryland. It's a great time to find your set piece game in the NCAA College Cup. Ball's being hidden here. It's a hit that'll take a deflection. That'll go wide. It'll be a corner. Oh no, it goes out for the goal kick, apparently off a Maryland player. Gaspar part of that, as well as Amar Sadic. Akron against the Big Ten. Here's their history. 187 matches. It's almost hard not to group them in with the 3 Big Ten teams that are here, but they represent the MAC.
Just the proximity in the non-conference games is easy to schedule. And if you're a Big Ten team, you want to play against them because you want to be tested. They play a different style than other teams in the Big Ten, and quality international players that look at the game differently. It's a wonderful opportunity for all teams to get exposed and see the areas on defenses that need addressing.
Well, interestingly enough, though, out of all the combinations here at the College Cup, these teams were all so familiar with each other. These two did not meet during the regular season. Nesse knocks it back. This is Daniel Strachan from Lakewood, Ohio. Milanese hold the ball, trying to draw in Maryland a little bit. Milanese now is going to carry it forward, and it's a pinpoint accurate ball out wide. Beautiful feathery control here from Mohammed. Here's Egbo with a wonderful ball after checking back to receive it. Zajac now. Akron in an area they like to be with the ball at their feet. Everybody behind the ball for the Terrapins. Zajac now, who's capable. You can see he wanted to bend it, hit it straight. It goes out for a goal kick. Century Field will be rocking for Week 14 Monday Night Football matchup between NFC playoff contenders. Kirk Cousin, the Vikings, are in Seattle to take on Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown at 6. Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. A couple of changes here. Kasey coming on for Egbo. And Micheletto coming on as well. Kasey got a lot of minutes on Friday night. Coming on for Egbo. 4 goals and 5 assists on the year for him. Ben is going to chase this and give it everything he's got, and it's going to force to sweep it away, Milanese. So under 18 minutes left to go, Kate. Your thoughts so far on this?
Maryland came out a bit different than we saw against Indiana in the last game. So if you're scouting them, they changed things up completely. Typical of Sasha Swarovski, who is a master tactician, decided to go direct, go in behind the back line, with Ben coming a little bit more central with Pacey Winger liking to cut inside. And that allowed Maryland to build play and keep it away from their own goal and put pressure on the Zips in their own half as they tried to build out.
Shot is whipped in there and handled by Lunt. Saw Matt DeRosa come in a minute ago, and he is the man that scored that first and game winner against Indiana. Here's Maryland under Sasha Swarovski. 9 College Cups. Remarkable. And you look at the body of work of the 4 coaches that have been here and coaches around the country. It's remarkable. A loyalty and building of programs.
And just their ability to recruit. Their talent identification and their eye for skill, character, and work rate is just uncanny. There's a reason why so many of these players go on to be future pros.
Akron and Maryland have supplied lots of players, as we all know, to Major League Soccer, including Darlington Nagbe last night, who won an MLS Cup with Atlanta United in front of 73,000 fans. Good zip. They get them from all different places. There's Cernia, Italy as well. Milanese towards the corner flag. It goes over the top. This is Akron now. They'll square it back. Off the turn there. It's a big block again. It was Cassé off the turn. It's still Akron now. Ball goes to the far post. Toyega will get it out wide. Mohammed. Nicoletto joining in and hitting a left-footed screamer that's pulled wide was Milanese. So the left back joining in, coming in late, they find it.
But again, if you're Maryland, I'd rather have them have shots outside the box and collapse numbers in. That's all happens because the wide players make an inside run, opening up a gap in channel for the left back Milanese to go and take a crack at it. Just bends it wide, finds that gap in between the Maryland players. But Akron's doing something different since the substitutions where they took Byros off. Now they put their two center midfielders, their attacker, they made them wider. And it's forcing the two defensive center mids of Maryland to stretch out. And that's creating the gaps that they then will play in and then change the point. With Hackworth having the freedom to go on the front line when he thinks the change of point ball is open.
Samuels is put under pressure by Cassé. Cassé has won it now. Shaking off a tackle. He's looking for some support here. He's been confronted by Donovan Pines, who's been pulled out of the middle, and there's been an opportune time to attack there. Sky Harder now. How do you think Akron's done in moving that sort of box that they've got central with the two deeper midfielders and two center backs?
I think they've done a decent job. We haven't seen them dominate using that possession and that type of movement to execute their game plan at the same level of proficiency that we've seen in the past. But give credit to Maryland. This is the team that has not let up a goal in tournament play because they're so well organized defensively. And if you beat that first line, they cover and collapse in, sealing up those gaps, making it very difficult to penetrate.
Say goes down holding his left foot. Sportingly helped up there by Eli Crugnale.
And DeRosa substitute, Matt comes in. That's a clean tackle for me, just gets a little bit of the top of the foot on his way down. But I'm a defender. I think everything's clean. It's 50-50.
Zajac got bounced around a little. Enough to help Maryland win it back here. Despite Ernie is behind Hervé, who's now shown up here on the right side of the field.
Yeah, they moved Hervé over because the defensive workload that's happening on the left-hand side trying to contain Mohammed was a little too much. They put DeRosa, who likes doing that up and back work, and put Hervé, who's more an attacking personality, very comfortable on the ball, but doesn't have the defensive responsibility on this side. As Milanese, the left back Akron, doesn't like to go up as much.
Control there by Nicoletto. He's got some players now higher in front of the ball here. They'll get it wide to Zajac. It's the man they want to get on the ball as much as possible in good areas of the field. Toyega now. And here is the right back joining in, Mohammed. He's one-on-one here against Chase Gasper. Mohammed to the end line, crosses blocked, it'll go out for a corner. And Akron has an opportunity here off a dead ball situation with under 12 minutes left here in the first half.
Now can Akron get it away from Pines? There are 2 services thus far. One has gone directly towards him. He will win everything in the air with his 6'5" frame. And Dane St. Clair is the other one. Goalkeeper, wonderful at reading the ball. Can they get away from those central areas? Look for either a near post or a far post service.
Nicoletto also coming over to provide the short one as an option. They're going to go direct with it, and it goes towards that far post that you mentioned. The header is one there, but it's easily handled in the end. Getting up there was Daniel Strachan. In the end, it's very, very easy. Coverage of the NCAA championships continue with the women's volleyball championship. Semifinal action begins Thursday, December 13th at 7 Eastern on ESPN. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Get a lot here about the NCAA Men's College Cup. We also know that Florida State won the women's last weekend in Cary, North Carolina against UNC. What a run it was for Jeremy Gunn and Stanford, but it ended to the sword of Akron last weekend. Here's Zajac now. He had 2 goals in that game against Stanford. Boyega switches it. Zajac now. Focus, concentration from Maryland here without the ball in the last few minutes. And good pressure wins it back. Akron now. Going to ground with a big tackle there for Maryland. Savage. We're waiting for the game's first real clear-cut chance. Less than 9 minutes left here in the first half. Glenn Davis alongside former U.S. Women's International Kate Margraf. Maryland, Akron for the national championship here today. Cronali switches it wide. Gaspar to the end line. It's a good run from him. He gets it in towards the near post. Out it goes off Akron for the corner here. So Maryland's going to be able to bring up Donovan Pines. There is a real fear about this center back at 6'5" off set pieces. Jared Embick making that very clear to us. So on he comes. And up he comes. Matsalevich will also come on for Elney. Reeves coming on for Irving. Look at Donovan Pines in the box here now, and this is a huge matchup here. Being marked by a forward, Kasey. Pines goes down right in front of the referee, Chris Penso. It'll be another corner.
And the ref's going to have a talking to Kasey. Hands on both sides. A little bit of contact is what's to be expected. I think Pines lost his footing there on that one. The combination of zone / man-to-man marking. They're only man-to-man marking one person, and that's the most dangerous aerial threat for the Terrapins, and that's Donovan Pines, and Kasey is getting a bit of a talking to. Physical contact to be expected in the box, as well as at times having both arms wrapped around you. That is part of the game. It's not supposed to be legal, but very few referees call it. Unless it absolutely denies a goal-scoring opportunity.
I look at that matchup and I go, I don't know if Kasey is your best one-on-one marker off corners, but we do see that Akron is set up zonally to defend this. So this is all about attacking the ball. Delivery comes. Pines is behind him, and it's going to go out for the goal kick for Akron.
And watch Pines being held here by Kasey right there. He's trying to prevent him from getting around. It's that little hold on in and out. It's not a consistent hold, so the referee doesn't call it as he's watching other things. But you do see that arm wrapped around, something to watch. And if I'm Coach Sasha Swarovski, I'm going to be talking to that fourth referee, being like, hey, did you see that? Did you see that? And just planting the seed that that physical contact is on that threshold of deserving a call.
Pines getting the second goal against Indiana. Advantage played here. It's good work from referee Chris Penso on the ball now. Sadic gets it wide. So now Maryland with some possession of their own now. Counter Akron, an unforced error, they give it away. Out for the goal kick. Coming up at halftime, a lot to talk about, including some news and notes from around the world. 2008 Men's College Cup Rewind. We'll have first half highlights and analysis as well. Big trouble here. Dane St. Clair was off his line with his feet there. In the end, he was confronted by two. It'll go out for a goal kick. Redshirt junior, and he restarts it. Get the sense this is a 45 minutes of feeling each other out a little bit.
Well, the game plans were executed by each team for large chunks of minutes. In the beginning, Maryland has it. This is what they do. They go long, and then they try to set play. If it doesn't go to the keeper in the opponent's half, getting a lot of numbers forward. And Akron has grown into the game. You get to see what they're trying to do and find those moments of interchange and quick passing. But the middle is so congested. And the Terrapins are sitting in excellent spaces, cutting out gaps that they've had to go wide, which does slow the game down a little bit. But you've seen Mohammed be very involved. And then Zajac with the best chance of the game on the other side.
Good peeled off run here. No, it's a shooting opportunity to make it 1-1 with the left hand. Robs Reeves. DJ Reeves was robbed. He was in. That was the best chance of the game. And Akron goalkeeper Ben Lunt coming up huge. So Maryland now, some real positive play to carve out that chance. The best of the game.
And DJ Reeves, the substitute, nice little step over, cuts in over the top foot. Trying to bend it back post, a little bit of a slice, accurately placing it, well saved by Lunt. Gets down quick, strong hand pushing it wide of the goal.
Well, unfortunately, Milanese there to clear away the rebound. Sadic now off the corner for Maryland. Donovan Pines is a target, and throwing his head at it was Reeves. He couldn't connect. Sadic cuts it back, eliminates a defender way too easily. And again, Maryland trying to up the tempo here with less than 4 minutes left in the first half. Very self-confident team. Sasha Swarovski calling the Indiana game the most complete performance of the season. Reeves again now. He has got space. Top of the box. Sadic tried to slip him in. Kasey got nudged off it, and it comes right back down the throats of Akron here. It's a curled in ball towards the 6. Reeves was in there again. Some real pressure to end the half here from Maryland.
Well, the substitutes making a huge impact. Didn't play as many minutes on Friday, and those fresh legs are paying dividends with that speed. They have picked up the tempo, and it is paying off for Maryland right now.
Yeah, their best attacking phase definitely right now. After Rosa knocks it back. Sadic. Switch of play from Sadic. Benderosa hung it up and careening to the ground there and remaining down here. And there's a right back, Abdi Mohammed, who is a very big piece of Akron and Jared Embick's squad. He hit hard.
And the Ohio State transfer goes up, but it's that contact there and then how he lands. A lot of time it's the impact with the ground that can cause the most damage. And out of all the pieces that Akron has on defense, that's the one that's the most difficult to replace. Just the amount of work he does up and down the flank.
Yeah, so vital to the attack of Jared Embick. Akron feels there is a little deja vu here because it was 2010 when they beat Louisville here. On a Scott Caldwell goal. He's talking about that title with one of those former players, Kofi Sarkodie, who played in Major League Soccer, plays in Europe now. Off the corner here. It's curled towards the back post. Donovan Pines was there. And there's a whistle out for the goal kick or a free kick. Ben Lunt coming up with a huge save. Dane St. Clair made one at the near post on Zajac. But to be fair, a game that has limited chances here so far, which might not surprise us here in the first half.
No, but on that last opportunity, you get to see what happens when you don't put pressure and prevent the run of Pines. I mean, he picks up some steam. There's no way you can defend his charge as he tries to connect with any service into the box.
Zajac spins out of there. It's tackled away by Reeves. Reeves had that wonderful chance. She was denied by Lunt. Under a minute almost left here in the first half in Santa Barbara, California. I guess I would begin to let you sort of recap this and tell me who's in the pole position, if anyone is.
Right now, the substitutes that Maryland has made has had more impact than the substitutes the Zips have made. They've added some energy as well as a quicker tempo in the midfield to final third and transitioning into it. But you get to see the quality of the Zips. If Maryland gets too stretched and sends too many numbers forward, they have the quality on the ball to ping it around.
They just waited to get Donovan Pines forward, so he's up there now trying to get on the end of this. It goes out for a throw, and Pines is going to remain up there. Looks like we're setting up for a long throw here from Gaspar in towards Pines. Goes off his back, headed straight up in the air. Less than 10 seconds left, cleared out by Akron. We're going to go into the locker room here at 0-0 for a national championship. How much confidence?
A little fatigue from our front three players, both defensive effort and also the ability to hold the ball. But I thought in the second, once we had a little more mobility and we're a little more active and looked forward a little bit, we had some chances. So more of that, and defensively we've got to shore up things a little bit. Our back line has to push up a little bit. There was a little too much room for Akron to play with some of their possession.
Sasho, thank you very much. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you, guys.
Game on here in the second half in the blue and gold. It is Akron. In the white, it is Maryland. Your referee, Chris Penso. Temperature around 60 degrees here. Santa Barbara, California. Somebody could be 45 minutes away from the national championship. Akron seeking a second title, Maryland seeking their fourth. And we're interested to see if there'll be a little bit more risk taken here in the second half.
And the key goal producers, if they're going to step up and have more an influence on the game. Right there we saw Egbo, who got to sit out for 20 minutes in the first half, was limping or walking with a little bit of a limp for part of the first half. See what he can do. He likes to play in between the midfield and that back line, hold the ball and allow Hackworth and others to join in.
Morgan Hackworth is a name we haven't mentioned quite as much tonight here.
But he's been very busy. He's been getting on the wide channels, on the inside wide channels, outside Pines and DeRosa on that side, looking for that change of point ball. They just haven't been able to find him.
And starting off here in possession to the feet here of Egbo, knocks it out wide. Hackworth, Egbo now. Pushing way high up on the right here again is Abdi Mohammed. For Akron, essentially playing as a striker right now. Taccio looked him off. Again, Akron just trying to tease Maryland out here a little bit. Abdi Mohammed. Went off the outside of his right foot. It's cleaned up here by Johannes Bergman. The gas ball. Back to Pines. Higher pressure here now from Akron. Back to start the second half. Colin Byros for Akron. Eli Cronali. And there's that direct ball that can provide some danger. Off his line is Lunt. So some good covering play there from the goalkeeper. With pressing Gaspar, it's going to be a throw in here for Akron. Second half, if you're subbed out, you can re-enter once. Switches on for Akron. If they circulate this ball a little bit quicker, they get it to Mohammed. Good work to get across from Matt DeRosa. Two well organized, two very well drilled teams under Jared Embick and Sasha Sarovsky. What will be the difference here tonight? Free kick Akron. Zajac took a tumble. Again, I think one thing we certainly are considering, and you and I talked about it, Kate, was the fact that Maryland really had to do a lot of pushing against Indiana, whereas in the end Akron was able to rest a number of key players here. At what point do you think potentially fatigue could be a factor here?
I think at the 60-minute mark is when you start to feel tired as a player and you look up and you're like, oh my God, I still have 30 more minutes left. And it's more that mental hurdle that you have to overcome. Because physically you can do it. It hurts, but you can do it. But that, to me, was always the toughest part when you were that fatigued.
Heading it back to Ben Lunt there, and running that one down was Daniel Strachan. Which last year in Philadelphia, it was double overtime. Stanford knocking off Indiana. Egbo got doubled up, one by Cronali. He's found a good pocket of space here to Sadic now. Sadic leading the attack for Maryland. And coming out there, a very timely intervention came from Daniel Strachan. By the way, 460 minutes without conceding a goal for Maryland. That goes all the way back to the Big Ten tournament. But it only takes one to win a national championship. They've been so resolute in their defending. Any sense of frustration from Akron for you, Kate?
Not yet. I think they're doing exactly what their coach asked them, and they're playing at a quicker tempo. Their midfield is also spread out a little bit centrally, which is pulling out those center mids of the Terrapins, allowing Egbo that channel that he wants to receive the ball. Can they find him earlier? And if they do that, they'll start to have success transitioning from that middle to the forward third.
David Egbo now coming out wide here. He has slightly been starved of the ball in this one. He got doubled up there. It's tackled away. It'll be a throw in Akron. Actually, for me, I'm looking for a little bit more out of him. Very impressive against Michigan State. Gaspar wanted to run it forward. Let's see a free kick here for Indiana. Marcel Zajac had the best chance for Akron in this one. 18 newcomers for Akron. They lost 7 starters last year. Here they are in the national championship game. Nice layoff as they try to bring in Reeves, who has been impressive for Maryland. A little flick on there from Matsalevich. So Matsalevich and Reeves, to your point, Kate, brought a lot of good energy off the bench.
Well, the two substitute, Matsalevich is a hard-working number 9, very rugged, has no problem with the physical battle and getting on those balls that may not be perfect or in those little channels he needs to fight for.
Here we go again. Donovan Pines, Matsalevich, our targets. Pines peeling off to the near post. Ball's headed back across the face of goal, headed out by Akron, and then lashed towards the halfway line. Samuels now, last man back for Maryland. Bergman. Gaspar. It's a curling cross. What a ball it was. Not able to steer the header on target was Reeves. Delivery looked good off the left foot of Chase Gaspar.
And it starts off a corner kick. It gets recycled to Gaspar, able to beat that first defender, drops right in behind the right back. And DJ Reeves comes on as a starter in the second half after a strong 15-minute performance in the first. Able to get on the inside shoulders defender, but just wide of the goal.
Again, here's the zonal marking here. It comes in towards the back post. Well, Matsalevich got a good run at it. Still hasn't been cleared yet. It's Egbo now. He's got to be a one-man show here to get out of this, and does a decent job of getting the ball over the halfway line, but Maryland have won it back. Donovan Pines. Pulled away by Akron. Samuels involved there again, who's about his business in a very unsung sort of manner. Cross will come in, nobody there. Mohammed is, though. Gaspar stepping up real high. And here's Mohammed, a wonderful touch now to get his head up. Now, can he get out of this pressure? No. It's a wonderful tackle from Sadic, who got a foot in there to break that up.
Now you back-checked and helped with pressure in behind to break that up. Otherwise, Mohammed was coming with full pace and had DeRosa beat.
Is it the endurance factor, the quick turnaround that many times leads with these close matches in national finals that a lot of times have gone to overtime and double overtime and on to penalty kicks?
Well, there's an accumulated fatigue, not just from Friday, but from the entire season that does happen. But also both teams know each other well, have seen each other, saw the type of game plan they laid out on Friday. And if you're in the finals, you probably have excellent coaches that are tacticians that can solve the gaps that you expose and then are looking to exploit the opponents. And it's just that chess match that does happen. And then add on the nerves of some players that come into it. When you're nervous, you play stiffer. And this game in the second half is much faster than it was in the first.
How about when you won the national title? Notre Dame.
Yeah, the year we won it, we shouldn't have won it. But that a little bit of luck goes a long way.
Honesty goes a long way, though. Honesty goes a long way.
The year we should have won it, we didn't. It does come into play, but you fight through it. You can do anything for 90 minutes.
Yeah, what are the emotions you thought about back then when you were a college player playing for a national championship? I mean, isn't part of it about just letting it loose here on this final game of the season?
And the referee finally calls that one. There's been 3 or 4 late challenges where Akron player goes to ground, but the referee hasn't deemed it an infraction on the rules of the game, and this time he does call it. It's a good opportunity. You'll see Donovan Pines to come up. And I like this positioning better than I saw their last set piece. It was in that kind of zone where you have to, it's too far away to shoot it for a lot of players, but it's too central in order to dip it in behind the far post. This one has a little bit of an angle to it, so look for the back post in behind the line of confrontation that the Zips have set up, and looking for Pines #2 on the back.
A lot of phases to getting this ball cleared here. In it comes. Pines is going to get a shot at it. He squares it across to Reeves. And there's a high foot. We're going to the penalty spot. Maryland has earned a penalty here. A high leg. Maryland now will go to the penalty spot to take the lead.
And Pines smartly hits it back across goal. DJ Reeves goes up for it. And you see the high kick right there by Byros on Bergman. And Bergman definitely makes a show of it. He does, from that angle, it does look like he gets kicked.
So Maryland has gotten the game's first real break here. My understanding, they haven't had a penalty during the run of play all season long. And of course, it's Amar Sadic who will come up to take the penalty. Their talisman against 6'6" Ben Lunt of Akron. Game-changing moment here in the national championship. Sadic has scored. The Maryland Terrapins have taken a 1-0 lead here in the second half, playing for a national championship. It's Sadic who delivers.
Take a look at this foul. It's Byros with the high kick, connects with Bergman's face. Referee correctly calls that, gives him a PK. Sadic sends him going the wrong way, guessing that it's going to go to the left, but he curves it, closes his hips at the last second, and St. Clair, the opposing goalkeeper, celebrates on the other end. Nothing Lunt could have done about that.
Tactical advantage now to Maryland.
Well, Maryland has not been scored upon in tournament play. So solid defensively. That means the two defensive holding center mids that have been stretched out will go back to almost that box defending, along with the two center backs, making it very difficult for anything in the center. Critical for the Zips is to get it right. Byros, who had that foul, the freshman, by doing a high kick foolishly inside the box, needs to make more of an impact out on that wing, as well as Mohammed. Use that width. That's where they create opportunities in that first half.
Well, it was a goal that Akron wanted to get, the game's first one, because that would have pulled Maryland off their position of comfort now, but it is the Terrapins who get it. And are in the pole position at this moment here, ticking down towards 32 minutes left. They're going to want to keep this game a slower pace here now at times with set pieces and things. Still a lot of soccer to be played. A very explosive Akron that can get back in this in the blink of an eye. Mohammed now.
Well done, Matt. Well done.
Yeager, and one pass away from trying to penetrate there, and cutting that pass out beautifully was Ben DeRosa of Maryland. Which your play is on. Mohammed trying to get stretched out here. crossbar was going to go to him, decided to drop off now. Again, the entry pass cutout. It's little things like that that you have seen tonight from Eli Cronali. That sort of illustrates this collective defending and ethic that streams through the Maryland Terrapins. A hard time penetrating out wide tonight as well.
But when they did, Zajac created an opportunity. Mohammed was able to get service. But the only time they get it wide is that they do that change of point ball.
Byros now has slipped through. This is good work from him. Oh, that's a beautiful ball from Byros. Akron trying to tie things up here, backing in Maryland. They'll get a shot off, took a deflection, goes wide, it'll be a corner. But Byros comes up with a sparkling moment there to switch it to Zajac.
Well, Byros does that change of point ball I was just talking about, able to get it over DeRosa. Wonderfully brought down by Zajac to create an opportunity. And look at that nice ping ball away from DeRosa, right over the head, driven ball, so gets down there faster, does a little move to separate, and DeRosa immediately goes to ground to cover more of the angle, and St. Clair boosting up his entire back line, pumped with how his defender was able to prevent that from going across.
7 around the box for Akron. Donovan Pines soaring up to win that header. Akron's going to need more of that from wide areas. Here comes another ball into the box. Mohammed is there. Who did it touch last? Goes out for a goal kick. Saturday noon Eastern on ESPN. This one's a sonic blockbuster and a Final Four rematch from last season. Number 21 Villanova taking on number 2 Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse, the Fog. You can always catch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. Right here in Santa Barbara, California. Maryland has taken a 1-0 lead. Pressing again here now. Amar Sadic, who's a perfect 5 for 5 from the penalty spot this year, connecting in the 57th minute. Loss of possession in a bad area. Elney now. Crossed in, headed out, and picked up by Johannes Bergman. Quick switch to Gaspar. Hervé. Here is the young Frenchman. Cross it balloons over everybody. Bertaccia. Bertaccia is a freshman from Westbury, New York. Donovan Pines comes out of the middle, breaks that play up. As the target there was Marco Micheletto from Reading, England, a senior. Micheletto. Playing in small spaces here is Akron, but one pass away from it, doesn't come off, out for the goal kick. This is the difference here.
And it's Zajac. Look at that. Sade is just able to put that in the corner. Nothing, even if Lunt had guessed the right way, would not have been able to get onto it. That is the first PK of Maryland's season. And they convert it beautifully.
5 for 5 in his career from the penalty spot. Abdi Mohammed now, who's, to the credit of Maryland, has got a leash around him and not allowed him to really get into the attack maybe as much as he'd like. He certainly has made that effort. He has stayed very high here.
But what he does do is he allows Byros then, who is naturally starting out on that wing, to cut in and help be an extra central attacker. The difference is Byros' influence on the game as a freshman isn't as great this game as it was against Michigan State.
Maryland has really done a great job of getting second defenders to people, but it looks like here now really pushing to make things happen. There's Byros, and that one's just hit past Sajak.
There's something to watch from Maryland. That's the second restart that they have been slow to adjust. One was off a throw-in, in which Bergman was upset with Pines about something. In that one, you're going to have to get in behind the ball and not lose concentration and attention and focus. That's the second time I've seen that happen in the past 5 minutes, and something to watch for.
Now here's Mohammed if they can get it to him early, and again, Byros' pass should have been in front of a defender at that point. Sports Center tonight after Capital Bowl Mania on ESPN with Bucci and Anderson. They'll have Rams-Bears post-game reaction and analysis, plus a breakdown of Eagles-Cowboys and a conversation with Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. Sports Center, 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Egbo with a flick to himself. And Donovan Pines just got an arm across him to slow his forward progress down. A savvy move there.
But more importantly, look at that acceleration in a tight space. That explosiveness, you would think that it would go to Egbo because he knows exactly what he's doing. And Pines has got to be the one to react, but actually his explosion and then his acceleration, two different things, 2 yards versus 5 yards, and then the full-out speed when it gets to 10. And the ways in which you measure speed was just more.
Ticking down towards the 24-minute mark here. Your goal scorer, Amar Sadic. 7th of the year for him. Right now, stands as the difference between Maryland and Akron. Ball went out of play. It'll be a throw in Akron. Egbo called for the foul there. No rush here from Maryland to get the restart here. Ticking down towards 23 minutes left. Elney flicked it on. Bin trying to get there and fight his way through Daniel Strachan. Akron needs something to stir the game up here, because time relative to score is not in their favor here as the clock ticking down here in Santa Barbara. Again, it's Maryland who have not conceded a goal in the NCAA tournament.
Well, it's not even not conceding a goal, it's not getting an opportunity on goal. Right now, Maryland has been able to organize either to make the shot predictable or only really have one opportunity, or there's a last-ditch tackle or save that forces it into a corner kick right now.
A little bit of space carved out. Donovan Pines has had to go out of the middle. And it's going to be a goal kick here after this tackle from Pines on Marcel Zajac.
And Akron starting to get frustrated, contesting every single call. Egbo showing his displeasure. And that's a ball-to-ball, that's a tackle that's not, they're more upset that it's not a corner kick than anything else.
He shows his ability to move laterally and come out of the middle, Donovan Pines.
But he's walking a bit gingerly after that one. But the reason why the Zips was able to actually create that is they have to change the point quickly. Maryland is so well organized and compact defensively. If they're able to change the point attack and switch the play, that unlocks that side because that's where the space is. Can they do more of that? And they'll have a better chance of creating opportunities.
Breaking out there and nearly getting through was Elney. Sadic is getting a break here. Vinicius Lansade, who's from the New York City FC Academy, has come on for him. We are expecting, obviously, a Amar Sadic to make his way back into this one to help see this game out for Maryland if they continue to hold this 1-0 lead.
And they put him in there because he's very technical and excels at finding the small gaps to play in. You see him almost pick off a pass right in there and dispossess in a dangerous area.
Egbo now took it off his chest. It was maybe a hesitant Bergman. Comes to the top of the box. Shot is going to get pulled wide. Marco Micheletto. Focus on Dane St. Clair in goal for Maryland. 12 shutouts. And look at that, 479 minutes.
Just at 6'4", he has such a big range and wingspan to stop shots. But it's also how he organizes the line in front of him. Very vocal the entire time to at least make play predictable and to cut down the angles that he has to cover in net.
Again, Sasha Surofsky telling us the big change was when they went to a double pivot in front of their center backs. They normally play with one. Really changed the way things began to move for them. It allowed the Samuels and Cornale to not only protect the back four, but be a big part of that buildup. What are you looking for here from Akron? Time's running out here, Kate.
They're going to stick to their game plan. They're still playing out of the back, sticking to attacking possession style of play. Now it's a matter of changing the point, getting up, back, and through, finding Egbo in that gap, and then letting others run off of him. Was so successful against Michigan State, and we haven't seen that yet.
Long diagonal ball that's hung up. It's a header that's steered away by Benderosa. Hard-nosed right back. Ball gets knocked inside. Byros. Hervé, the Frenchman, will knock it towards the halfway line. Bertaccio, the freshman. Akron struggling to break down this immovable object that is Maryland. And St. Clair's just going to stand on it here. Akron seeking a second national championship. The one that they won was back in 2010 right here in Santa Barbara. And Maryland looking to win their fourth. It would be the third under the reign of Sasha Surofsky. Samuels, wonderful play in tight areas here for Maryland, and it's broken up by Mohammed. Chance to get it switched here and maybe up the tempo and get forward here before Maryland recovers, but they have shown such a great ability to get their team shape back in this kid. It's been so impressive.
The block of four in the back, and then the block to 3 to 4, depending on Hervé's able to come and sit in. Once they get organized, the only way to beat him is going around. But it's taking a long time for Akron to move that and try to find those gaps.
Maybe this is a chance they get in behind. Mohammed here, if he can get past the defender, he's brought down. It'll be a throw in Akron. Surprised there wasn't foul towards the end line there is Micheletto. And boy, he got an opportunity to get a ball in. He earns a corner here. Less than 17 minutes left. Akron has a large contingent of fans here in Santa Barbara. Off the corner, towards the 6. St. Clair will punch it. He will careen to the ground. It's Byros now. Ross will get whipped into the far post, a diving header. It's squared back. Egbo's shot is blocked over the top. Ball went out of play. Out for the goal kick. A bit of pinwall wizardry in the box here, but maybe this is the moment now that'll lift Akron and a little bit more of urgency here with less than 17 minutes left.
Well, it starts on the first service coming in And Dane St. Clair, you get to see how acrobatic he is with those arms outstretched. He gets over Pines, unselfish header back across, and it falls to Zajac, who's unable to convert that and keep that low.
Akron fans beginning to make some noise. Spurred on by that last flurry. The top here towards Egbo. Egbo is taking a great touch here away from Pines, though. Pines has shepherded him towards the corner flag now. He's turned on Pines. Players in the box for Akron now. They're starting to commit a few more numbers forward here. Less than 16 minutes left. Pines puts himself between an attacker and the ball, out for the goal kick. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the Women's Volleyball Championship. Semifinal action beginning Thursday, December 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. St. Louis winning those, majority of those back in the 70s. Indiana coming onto the scene then. Virginia. These are all just wonderful soccer programs that have got immense history. Elney has fended off a defender. Elney has pushed it forward off his line. Comes Lunt. Are we going to the spot again? Yes, we are. It's a second penalty for Maryland. Ben Lunt diving at the feet of a Maryland attacker. Matt DeRosa, and to the penalty spot we go.
The substitute making impact in this game as well. Lunt goes feet first, doesn't get the ball instead of going outstretched. Interesting in how he's coming out. He was prepared for a back pass, I think, so he's going to use his feet. So he wasn't set with his feet set to then dive to ground with his hands. Caught in an odd position, gives up the foul with his feet. And Matt DeRosa's pressure, even though that ball was looking to be just a back pass, was enough to disrupt the connection between the center back and Lunt and earns his team a penalty kick.
Convert this penalty from Amar Sejdic, and your chances of winning the national championship go up exponentially. Sejdic against Lunt. Hesitates, went the same way, it's saved by Lunt. Akron remains breathing here in Santa Barbara.
And Sejdic misses that, but here's how it happens. Takes down DeRosa, earns his team a PK and delayed his movement. And you get to see Lunt with a little deception of his own, faking that he's going to go left again. And Sejdic goes the same way, doesn't hit it nearly as well. Not enough placement in the side. An easy save for Lunt. But I love that little deception he made. When he saw Sejdic looked up, he acted like he was going left. And you wonder if that did enough to disrupt the connection that Sejdic had on the ball.
So Akron still breathing here in Santa Barbara. Can that save be pivotal in upping their urgency and tempo here? Under 14 minutes left. Maryland still holding on to a 1-0 lead. Spinning out of there with Sky Harder. He knocks it forward. Zajac was denied. Comes out to Micheletto now. He's got Zajac near him.
Well defended by DeRosa, a player that actually been benched towards the end of the season, not liking how he was playing, but getting a look back in during postseason play. And he has just had an incredible Final Four.
And to your point, Ben DeRosa, and you mentioned this the other night, and Chase Gaspar have really been outstanding. They have not allowed people to get behind them in wide areas, and they're doing this to Akron.
Well, just right there, how many times do you see a defender allow that to go out for a corner kick, but he used his body so effectively to create that distance between the attacker and the ball that after the attacker touched it, it rolls out of bounds.
St. Clair off the goal kick. Now Akron need to get it forward. Kase has come back on.
And that'll push Egbo as they usually sub Kase for Egbo, like for like, but now they moved Egbo over on the right-hand side, so you see him sit in that center wide right angle in that half channel.
Here's some space that's been opened up here. Now can they get runners in the box here in front of the ball? Pines has done a good job to slow it down. They can switch his on here to Muhammad if they get it to him. They get it to him early. He's got space. He's got his head up. He gets the cross in. And it's headed away by Maryland. One of the more threatening attacks, with Muhammad having real time to get a cross in there. Maryland again showing that amazing ability to recover when you think they've been beaten. Nicoletto, Egbo, Nicoletto now. Brought down by Bergman. Nice angle here for a free kick for Akron now. Less than 12 minutes left here. Johannes Bergman has been steady, calming.
Doesn't get the ball, gets the player, and gives up a dangerous foul. I mean, a foul in a dangerous area. We'll see Akron line up behind Maryland, trying to pull them offside.
Sky Harder stands over it. He's got Nicoletto to his left.
This will be an in-swinger.
Curling ball towards the back post over everybody. Not the time you don't want to reward people for getting into the box. And we saw his remarkable free kick against Michigan State. Been a tough night for David Egbo. And credit Maryland for doing a good job defensively on him.
I think it's more of that. I mean, Egbo did get frustrated. You've seen him gesticulate a couple times in frustration, arms throwing everywhere, yelling at a teammate. But honestly, that's all because of the way Maryland's playing. The one thing one thing the Zips wanted to do was to take out Pines, get Pines moving out. Instead, in the second half, they're playing primarily through Pines' side.
Here we go now, top of the box brought down. And a red card has been issued here. It comes to Carlo Rotaccio. Another yellow is being flashed here. Let's see how this all gets sorted out here. I believe the red card went to Rotaccio.
It went to Rotaccio. He pulled Reeves down.
He's done, so they're going to go down a man here.
Given the red card, deeming that he was in a goal-scoring or could create a goal-scoring opportunity as the last defender, he earns the red card. Right call by the referee. The referee did not deem that they're recovering. And another throw-in right there. You need to control the tempo, control the frustration and the emotions.
Carlo Rotaccio was off. Akron's going to have to do this with 10 men. Pensa sorting all of this out here. If it gets all cleared up, it'll be a Maryland free kick here. Holding on to a 1-0 lead here in the national championship game with under 10 minutes left. And now we'll play a man up against Akron after the sending off of Carlo Rotaccio. Sadich standing over this one.
Or Bergman with his left foot.
Two options. Cornali hiding the ball here. It will be Bergman over the top. Actually, I believe it was the players carrying yellows now. Lunt, Vitaccio, Casey for Akron, and Gaspar for Maryland. Vitaccio sent off. And time running out here on Akron. Lobbed over the top. The defense is turned here. Donovan Pines will climb up above and win it over Zajac, and Dane St. Clair will pounce on it.
So how will the loss of a player affect the Zips? Is that they'll go to a dedicated three-back. Many times it does look like a three-back because Mohammed pinches, goes so high to help join in the attack, but it will be a three-back versus the speedy two front runners from Maryland.
Towards the corner flag. And it goes back to Lunt. Save the penalty on Sadic to keep it at 1-0. Egbo trying to get there first and get behind. It'll be a throw-in again to Maryland. They've been just so stout, so mentally strong throughout the NCAA tournament. No rush to take it here. So look at Akron's Daniel Strachan. Akron just needs to get it forward here. Get the ball and get it forward. Because Maryland is going to try to manage this out here. Cornali. Shot is blocked. Header knockdown. Sadic. Reeves will lash a shot. Parried away at the near post by Lunt. That one jumped off the right foot of Reeves. He has been a bright spot.
What I love better is that Sadic didn't take that shot when he had the moment right there. Instead, he lays it off to Reeves, takes that second separating touch so he can rifle off the shot, and Lunt in a good space just pushes it wide. And instead of bringing Pines up, the Terrapins, oh, now they're going to bring him back. Originally, they were going to take him back.
Ball comes into the box. Pines does get a head on it. Can't redirect it on target.
Horrible positioning, and he still gets a head on it.
It's lobbed in. Lunt is going to come off his line. He's going to corral it. Akron's going to need to get this forward. Less than 7 minutes left here. Donovan Pines. It's pushed on. Maybe it's a chance for Akron. And it is a huge saving play from Maryland's Ben DeRosa, who has had a spectacular NCAA College Cup. Still time for an equalizer. Side-footed away by Bergman. Towards the corner flag to Reeves. Strachan has come out of the middle. Maryland is going to get the throw. They're going to walk to it here with less than 6 minutes left. Again, Akron down to 10 players. Vitaccio sent off with a red card. Gaspar. He is just eating up space here. Nobody challenging him. He's going to switch the point of attack here. Maryland's got an attack here with basically 4. Akron need to get it forward here. Samuels, so quick on the turn. Lunt is coming off his line. We'll get there. Ahead of Reeves. Can Egbo get there? No. Dane St. Clair, very alert. Off his line all the way out to the 18 to provide the cover. This is the difference.
And here it's a high kick from Byros to Bergman. Kick in the face warrants a penalty kick. And the captain is the one who steps up. Coolly puts it in the corner. Well taken by Amar Sadic.
Goal coming in the 57th minute. Sadic would get to the spot again, but would be denied by Lunt.
And you also wonder, because Maryland hasn't had a penalty kick all season long, they can't be scouted on their preferred sides as a PK taker. And that second time, Lunt got it right.
Hackworth now. Zajac is in the box. Big set piece here. Good throw in here for Akron now. We've got players moved up the field. At times it seems as though there's 12 players out there for Maryland. Certainly in their defensive half of the field. Less than 3 minutes away. Zajac, Mohammed, Zajac again in the pocket of space, plays it forward. Shot is blocked here. Mohammed again. Akron making a push here in the final minutes. They'll get a throw in. All kinds of players committed forward here now. Nobody even at the halfway line for them. Their 3 backs are pushed way deep in the Akron half of the field. Set it out of there. Maryland has gotten it. Reeves now. Akron desperate to get the ball back here with a little over 2 minutes left. Concede the free kick. Yellow card is issued. Clock is stopped in the college game.
That's a professional foul, but more importantly, it stops the clock because the referee has to come over and give a yellow card. Otherwise, if you don't hand out a card, the clock keeps running in the college game. And this is just smart. You know that you're going to get beat. Speed goes down. And Sky Harder just has his wits about him.
Goes out for the goal kick here. Akron need to get it forward. 2 minutes we have now breached. Pines climbs above 2 players to win the header. Sadic. He's drawn 2. He's going to earn a throw in. Wise play there from the game's goal scorer.
But this is what would be frustrating if I'm Jared Emmerich. If you know you are going to hit a long ball, why would you hit it anywhere near the vicinity of Pines? Why is that ball not going wide, or at least go on the other side and force Bergman to win that air challenge?
It's been 40 seconds, man! It's been 40 seconds!
Maryland have gotten possession back. Klein Waters is on for Akron. They're going to take it to the corner flag here, trying to manage this one out. Things looking very good for Maryland here. Less than a minute left in this. Zips need to knock this forward here. But there's a block of 6 back from Maryland that are just gobbling up all these long balls. Gaspar is going to drive it forward now. Less than 30 seconds left. The Maryland Terps are beginning to feel it here. Donovan Pines gets up, wins the header. Sadic. 10 seconds left. Akron trying desperately to get it forward. It's headed away by Samuels, a national championship. It is Maryland who has won it here. They are unscored upon, and they go back to the summit of NCAA Men's Cup.